Ukrainian forces have quite commendably managed to break through the first line of Russian defense in the Zaporizhia region, said the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff of the United States, General Mark Milley, in an interview. There are increasing signs that Ukrainian troops have partially breached the first line of Russian defense on the southern front in the Zaporizhia region and are advancing towards the strategically important city of Bakhmut, reports CNN. Some Russian war bloggers are painting an unattractive picture for Moscow troops in certain sections of the southern front. In particular, one of War Gonzo stated that the Ukrainian armed forces are advancing towards Novopokrovka in the south. The General Staff of the Ukrainian Armed Forces has already confirmed this, and has also launched a parallel offensive in the Verbov area in the east, under heavy artillery fire from both directions. According to some of the war correspondents, the Russian armed forces are expected to hold their positions for at least another month and a half in order to attempt to achieve success on another front, and thereby change the situation on the battlefield. In turn, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff of the United States, General Mark Milley, also stated that the Ukrainian armed forces have managed to breach the first line of defense that the Russians have been preparing for several months. At the same time, the general referred to the Ukrainian offensive, which has been ongoing for 8 weeks, as very slow, but acknowledged that there is constant progress. On August 25th, the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, Valery Zaluzhny, informed U.S. officials that Ukrainian forces were on the verge of a breakthrough on the front. As we know, the offensive of the Ukrainian armed forces have been ongoing since the beginning of June. During this time, over 240 square kilometers of territory in the Zaporizhia and Donetsk regions have been liberated. Meanwhile, potential verge of a breakthrough near Robatny, probing raids along Dnipro and on the western shores of occupied Crimea. Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, AFU, Valery Zaluzhny, told American officials that Ukrainian forces are on the verge of a breakthrough. Wall Street Journal reported based on an apparent access to U.S. intelligence. Ukrainian commanders also say that the time hasn't yet run out on their counteroffensive, and Zaluzhny has already told U.S. officials his forces are on the cusp of a breakthrough. Yet, deep divisions over this strategy linger. The U.S. for the past several weeks has urged the Ukrainians to mass their forces and concentrate in an area north of Bakhmut, in the south to push through the first line of Russian defenses, generally acknowledged as the toughest line to break. While there are differing views within the U.S. government, one official said that Washington has conveyed serious frustration with Ukrainian strategy, particularly President Volodymyr Zelensky's focus on Bakhmut, which some Ukrainian officers see as useful to build morale and create a buffer zone in the east. According to the ISW, Ukrainian forces advanced closer to the Russian second line of defense in the Robatny area in western Zaporizhia region on August 24th, further widening their breach of Russian defense lines in the area. Geolocated footage published on August 24th shows that the Ukrainian forces advanced further towards the Russian defense lines west of Verbov, 18 kilometers south of Orikhiv, and into the southern Robatny, 10 kilometers south of Orikhiv. Ukrainian Southern Operational Command spokesperson Natalia Homenyuk reported that Russian forces are conducting additional lateral redeployments from the Kherson region to the front line in the Zaporizhia region, suggesting that Ukrainian forces have further degraded Russian defense lines in the area. Pro-Russian mill blogger Rybin said the difficult situation continues in the Robatny area. The fighting has already moved to the southern outskirts of the settlement, from which only ruins remain. To the east, the enemy is trying to break through the Verbov. Pro-Ukrainian mill blogger War Monitor posts that Ukrainian forces continue to engage in clashes and battles along the Dnipro River and Kherson region. The Wagner Group will likely no longer exist as a quasi-independent parallel military structure following Russian President Vladimir Putin's almost certain assassination of Wagner financier Yevgeny Prigozhin. Wagner founder Dmitry Utkin and reported Wagner logistics and security head Valery Cheklov, the ISW said. Ukrainian forces conducted a limited raid on the western shore of occupied Crimea on August 24th. Ukrainian Main Military Intelligence Directorate (HUR) posted footage and announced that Ukrainian forces landed on the shores near Olenivka and Mayak, both 116 kilometers northwest of Sevastopol, according to ISW.